If you live here, you know there's something about Meaford that embodies the magical spirit of Christmas. Family, love, hope, and especially community. But one December 24th, a stranger discovered that spirit while driving through town. It was 1983. Moved by the way the lights and the buildings reflected a sense of community, he knew he had accidentally found the place he had dreamt of for a long time. 2 years later, he set out to capture it on film.
The streets of Meaford and Owen Sound will be combined to create the mythical community of Medford, the location for the film Father Christmas. Unit Manager Keith Large says Owen Sound and Meaford were picked because of the blend of traditional values in a progressive community.
In Father Christmas, Philip Borsos, the director, wanted a return to traditional values, which is what the movie is about. And this area, Owen Sound and Meaford, that have similar architecture, and together, hopefully, we'll make an amalgam of a town.
Here's a behind-the-scenes look at a special motion picture coming to your local theaters this holiday season. The making of One Magic Christmas is the reliving of a childhood memory of producer Peter O'Brien.
I think one of my favorite Christmas memories is when I was about 6 years old in the country near where we are right now at a farmhouse very much like the one where this film is taking place. I saw Santa Claus, absolutely for certain, for sure, come and fill up my stocking full of toys.
One Magic Christmas stars Academy Award winner Mary Steenburgen and Harry Dean Stanton.
It's a film that should have an uplifting effect on people and on audiences and enrich their lives in some way, I hope.
It still does.
So this is Mary Steenburgen's hat.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
That's so cool.
Touching that hat is like touching the Holy Grail for 37-year-old Phil Gourlay and 29-year-old Ron Bowman.
Okay, and then here's one.
Celebrating this 30th anniversary with a pilgrimage from St. Catharines to the real Medford.
We at least watch it probably 3 times to Christmas.
Yep.
Started off, ended, and end Christmas, then sometime in between. So I think we know a lot of the scenes, like dialogue-wise, pretty well. Oklahoma license plate.
Phil, Ron, and the thousands like them are proof that even esteemed film critics like Roger Ebert can be wrong. Ebert said the movie was too dark. Too many bad things happened to Mary Steenburgen's character Ginny before the happy ending. Kids and parents won't like it, Ebert declared.
Yep.
My mom and I used to watch it all the time, and it's the only movie that I've ever cried in. When I was a kid, I would always cry in that movie, so it's a good one for some reason. It's a feel-good though at the end. So
for me, it was a family Christmas movie that we watched every year, and it was my mom's favorite Christmas movie. And I remember at one point her saying, "If ever I decide to not like Christmas, show me this movie again, or call me Ginny."
If one more person says anything about Christmas to me, I'm going to throw something at him.
Mary Steenburgen and the crew camped out at what is now called Foodland for a long 3 days.
Attention, Glenn's market shoppers.
Film crews are used to that, but not the extras. Even though you hardly notice them, the extras had to walk the aisles over and over, taking exactly the same thing off the shelf over and over. But check out that young girl there in the back. She was actually having a ball. Back then, she was known as Shannon Scott. Today, she's successful entrepreneur Shannon Curry, home visiting her mother, Maureen Scott. It was Maureen who actually saw the ad for the extras and signed herself up along with the kids. Obviously, a lot of memories. But the licorice and cookies they just picked up, the best memory of all.
We were able to take whatever we wanted off the shelves and eat it, and then you would take the packaging and it would be covered, I guess, by the movie budget. So as my mom wasn't with me, I ate a lot of red licorice and cookies for my meals, which was great.
And now you know.
Yes, now I know. My son decided he wasn't coming back the second day because he was ticked off just walking around pushing the shopping cart all day. He said, "I'm not doing that again." And then I said to him, "Well, how about the money you're making?" And then he thought twice about it and came back.
Yeah, I would do it again. It was fun. It was fun and financially rewarding, and It was neat to see your neighbors and your friends, and then to see the final movie. That was exciting that my scene actually wasn't cut, because they filmed so much and then so much was left on the floor. That was surprising to me.
I was cut.
Yes, sorry, Mom.
It was cold.
It was bitter.
It was very cold. I remember, do you remember?
I had a job inside the bank because our friend Wendy, she was out on the street.
This is 26.
Shannon's friends were also extras, and looking over the old artifacts, they agree this was a big, exciting moment in Meaford. But they also got a new perspective on the biz. Take the bank scenes. You'd think the drama here would be enough to hold your attention, but there are those windows in the background looking out onto Trowbridge Street. So, outside,
they wanted to have these people walking along the road to see their heads.
Okay.
There's some sort of action. And there were some children amongst them too, and they were out there for hours and hours, and they have to wait and wait. And then, we're going to shoot. And, poor Wendy, she got colder and colder and colder. We were inside the bank.
It was really cold. I remember being down the street, maybe in front of Johnson's Jewelers in an alcove, and then, did they say go? I guess they said go. And then just walk along, I had my long winter coat on, and then go into another alcove. Cut. But I remember doing it many times.
Go back and do it again.
Go back and do it again. And it was cold.
Wendy, by the way, never made it into the movie. After 11 freezing hours, it turned out she was too short to be seen from inside the bank.
Get jelly on your jacket?
Abby got jelly on her jacket. I did not, jellyfish. One of these days, Abby. To the moon.
I've got one kid who's almost the age I was when I did this.
Rob Magwood had no experience, but he says he got the part of Cal because he was a short, blonde kid who looked older than he was. And being a Canadian meant that the film qualified for telefilm grants and tax breaks.
Suddenly I was an actor. Suddenly I had a trailer with my name on it. Suddenly I was out of school for 8 months or however long the filming was. And then when my parents, they just didn't want me to blow the movie. That was their concern because I'd never done anything before. Rob
was picked out from thousands of youngsters who applied. Everyone was convinced he had star potential. Rob had other ideas.
It was a really fun experience, but I do remember at the end thinking that was 8 months or whatever it was outside of my normal playing hockey with my friends, skiing with my friends, etc. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Meanwhile, as Ron and Phil's pilgrimage continues, they learn make-believe can come a bit too close for comfort.
Good, how are you?
Are you enjoying Meaford?
We're loving it.
Yeah.
We're actually doing something kind of funny. We're celebrating the 30-year anniversary of One Magic Christmas, and we know that the event, the big scene, took place here where the dad gets shot, and we were just wondering, do you guys know anything about the movie at all?
Well, we were around back then, 30 years ago. Well, it was a long day because you just basically sat up there the whole time, and then we had, they told us to come down for our filming part, and that was, like that, and then it was back upstairs because, they didn't know whether they would use you again. So we went back up and sat, and then...
So was the bank closed on, was it on a Saturday or something?
It was a Saturday.
Okay.
It was a Saturday because it was my husband's grandparents' anniversary party.
Oh, wow.
That I missed the whole time.
Being trapped up in the office?
I was being an actress that day. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is where Mommy did it right here, in this part right here. This is my big moment.
Jenny Besworth's big moment, reacting in shock to the robber's exit from the bank.
Do the face.
Came about because she happened to pass by Mary Steenburgen's trailer on Nelson Street.
And just as I was walking by with my sweet little dog, she opened the trailer door. And she came out and she stopped me in the street and she asked me what kind of dog he was and what a sweet little dog. And then she said, "Are you in the movie?" And I thought, this is my chance. I am not in the movie. I thought I was just going to get a day off school, quite honestly. That was the most exciting thing for me. We had never had anything like that in this small town. So when I got down to set, I was really interesting, and one of the things that intrigued me the most was that Meaford is obviously very well known for having lots of snow, and that was the one year that snow was not falling. So they had to make snow, and I thought that was just so special. And I remember being over at Smith's Tire, which is not there anymore, and there was these big giant piles of snow, and I was so intrigued that they were actually doing this for this movie, and I thought, okay, well, this is the big time.
In fact, one reporter noted that although it was cold as a witch's heart, the weather was the most erratic conceivable. So, it took many costly trucks of snow to make Meaford the winter wonderland it usually was naturally. And even then, there was the showbiz version of climate change to contend with.
We shot one entire night lit by one of these lights that lights football games at night. Huge bank of. They weren't HMIs. They were just a huge arc light. And one of the problems with that was that even though we kept putting snow and dressing snow, it was melting. So when the characters were having dialogue as they were walking, there was slushing and slopping and everything. So the dialogue was ruined. We had to re-record it.
What can we do for you guys?
Christine Collins remembers those lights, now the owner of the popular Kitchen Cafe on Sykes. Back then, Christine had a funky clothing and jewelry store called Oasis and lived around the corner on Nelson.
One night I was in my apartment and this huge light, really, really bright light, and all kinds of activity below me on the street. And so they were filming one of the scenes from the movie, and so I watched as long as I could before I got totally bored. but it was an exciting time because there was lots of people around in the store. We had all the crew and people coming in and out, and they probably kept us alive that winter. I don't think we would have had a whole lot of business without them that year. So
I saw Santa Claus, absolutely for certain.
Remember the guy who was convinced he saw Santa delivering toys? This time, he brought proof.
These actually appear on Santa, coming out of Santa's bag. Santa Claus comes down the chimney.
These were the toys that came out of
Santa?
Santa?
Yeah. These are actually in the film.
I told Peter about my chats with the extras and how positive the experience had been for them, and he wasn't surprised. They were different, he said, from the professional, grumpy extras he often has to work with. In fact, Meaford itself was different, and that made the experience special.
The town was interested in helping. You go to many places and they say, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We're not going to close the main street to traffic. We're not going to let you do this or let you do that. Which you have to do to make a film, and it is a nuisance. Film production causes all kinds of problems, but the people of Meaford generously welcomed us, and we're never sure when we leave a location whether they feel the same way, but we think Meaford was very, very friendly to us and to the production, and that was an ingredient without which we couldn't have been here.
Director Philip Borsos, the man who discovered that Meaford spirit on Christmas Eve back in 1983, said while he was making the movie, "The world is full of good people who just have to stretch out a bit, and then the world will be a better place." One Magic Christmas is a story about that faith and belief. That's why he's still thought of as a visionary.
I actually work in the industry,
20 years
so I have a better
after his
sense of what
untimely
goes
death.
into making something like this. And I have consistently said that Santa and his workshop in this movie are the best Santa and the best workshop I have ever seen in a movie. I think they completely nailed it, and I think that they thought outside the box. Santa, of course, speaks every language because all these people came from all over the world. So as he's going through, he's saying hello in all these different languages. And the letters from children are pouring in overhead. They didn't just go into a mail slot, they just appear, and he's walking through this rain shower of letters. And I just remember as a kid thinking that was so special.
So the cameras and lights are gone. The professionals and amateurs have moved on to other things. But Philip Borsos' vision and that Meaford spirit are still alive. Family, hope, and especially community. May the magic be yours to share as well.